Okay, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us at the Madison Fire District's regular meeting, September 16th. It is 7:01 p.m. Can we get a roll call?
Mr. Adams.
Here.
Mr. Anderson.
Here.
Mr. Gauntner.
Here.
Mr. Lee. Mr. Vest.
Here.
Mr. Wayman.
Here.
And we got Mr. Captain Meister in.
Oh, yes.
Captain Meister sitting in for Chief Baker tonight. Okay, if we could do a moment of silence for a minute. Okay, thank you. Let's go on to the regular session. Do I have a motion for the minutes from August 19th?
You have that motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Gautner? Any discussion on the minutes? No? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gauntner.
Yes.
Mr. Lee. Mr. Vest.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We can go on to the bills and payrolls from August 2020. Bills, $37,977.65. We had tax collection fee of $8,441.37. Payroll was $147,578.13, which totaled $193,997.15. Do we have a motion for that?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Wayman, second.
Yep.
And do we have any discussion on that? No discussion. We have roll call.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Gauntner.
Yes.
Mr. Vest.
Yes.
Mr. Wayman.
Yes.
Mr. Adams.
Yes. Okay. We're going to go on to the August 2020 financial report. Joanne?
She's muted.
There I am.
There she is.
Okay, this is coming off the fund summary report for August 2020. We started August with $4,308,721.71. Our month-to-date revenue was $1,134,753.09. That's because we got our property tax second half in. And as you're aware that we did collect a little extra in that than they projected us. Our year-to-date revenue was $4,156,927.12. Again, our month-to-date expenditures was $193,997.15. Our year-to-date expenditures is $2,117,794.49. So we are starting September with $5,249,477.65.
Pretty good.
We got a good chief. He watches the budget really good with me. It's on there.
Yep.
Anything else with that, Joanne?
Do you want me to go over touch highlights on the budget stuff?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that now.
Okay. As you know, we are above a little bit on our general fund side and collecting our revenue. We're up about 3%, 3.6% above what we projected. And that's because I think the property tax that we received the extra money in there on it. You notice they are sick times a little over, and that's because of the full-timer that we have out that's been using his sick time on there. Our health, the HSA on our health insurance is up again. A reminder, that's because of adding the full-timer that replaced Mr. Holoquest. Our workers' comp is because we've had the VSSR claim that we continue to have to pay on there. Our advertising's up because of the meeting notice changes, the bid for the redoing the bathroom down there on it. And our tax collection's a little bit up, and that's controlled by the county. We don't have, they're the ones that tell us how much they're taking. And then let's see what else we off on. On our backbone, we pay that quarterly. So if you're looking at it and wondering why that's a little higher, then we should be at 67%. But that's because we pay our backbone quarterly. And then our EMS is because of due to the COVID expenditure that we have some in there. So how's that?
Any questions for Joanne?
Nope.
No. Joanne, are you happy with where we're spent year to date right now overall?
Yes, I am. I think we're doing pretty good. Even with the, being through the COVID and all that, I think like I said, we
49.4% spent year to date. Is that right?
Yeah, we're down. Yes, that is right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. If we're into September, we're only half spent. Okay.
That's what I said. You have a good chief now. He really watches expenditures. He helps watch. I'm sure the captains are behind it too, but.
Well, yeah, it's a true team effort, and to be at just shade under 50%, and we're into September. That speaks well.
We'll have the big payroll in December though, where we pay out on there for the holiday pay.
Yeah, but that's expected.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep. Any other questions for Joanne?
Nope.
Nothing? Okay.
Nope.
Did we get anything in from the public? Any questions that we know of? No?
Nothing on the live stream so far.
Okay.
YouTube.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're going to go on to Mrs. Dane, legal counsel.
Hello, everyone. So as you know, the legal notice for the bids for the Station 2 bathroom renovation project was posted by Mr. Gates. My understanding is from talking with the chief that the 2 individuals so far have come to the station and picked up information regarding the project. But otherwise, no resolutions were requested of me, no real pending issues. So unless the board has any questions or issues they'd like to bring to my attention, then that concludes my report.
Anything for Mrs. Dane?
Mr. Chairman, just a quick question. Stacy, I think the 30th is the bid opening.
Correct.
That has to be done publicly, right? But it can be done at the station.
Right. Yes.
Okay. All right. I guess just want to make sure that it's not. He's actually probably going to have to do it like out in the meeting room or something, usually, so the public can attend.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure Chief's aware of that. That's all. Because I don't know that he's ever done a bid opening.
Yeah, and I'll be sure that I follow up with Mr. Gates too to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Okay. That's all I had. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions for Mrs. Dane? Nothing. Okay. Let's go on to committee reports. Captain Meister, anything there?
We really haven't had any meetings as far as committees go, so nothing to report there.
Okay. Old business, I don't see anything. New business, we have a resolution 2022 amounts and rates. I don't know if Joanne wants to read that.
That one?
Yeah.
This is the one that we actually received from the county. This is resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. And this is the figure that I always use for the property taxes when they tell us, when I set my revenue at the beginning of the year.
Right. Okay. Do we have a motion for that?
If you would like a motion, I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Vest, we have a second.
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Gautner, second. We have a discussion on that. Roll call.
Mr. Gontner,
Yes.
Mr. Vest,
Yes.
Mr. Wayman,
Yes.
Mr. Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Very good. Okay. Let's go on to the chief's report. Captain Meister.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Something just jogged my memory with the committee reports, just so we have something on the horizon. The healthcare committee is going to be coming up soon for the bid for that. So we'll be doing the form fire probably within the next month or so. I talked to Chief earlier. So that was really the only thing as far as committees go to kind of keep in the back of your mind. I don't remember who was designated to that, but I know a couple of you have sat on that committee in the past, so that'll be coming up within the next probably 30 days or so. As far as the chief's report, anniversaries, we have firefighter Erin Tennant, who's in her 5th anniversary. Firefighter Jesse Sopko, he's been on 4 years. Firefighter Joe Ramasher, he's been on 3 years so far. Firefighter Josh Rodani is on 2 years, and firefighter Corey Baker has just passed, or will about to pass his 2nd year anniversary on the 28th. Financial overview. Like Joanne talked about earlier, the tax revenue is up 3.6% from the initial projection. EMS revenue is on target. That's almost, right in its sights right now. Sick time's over budget due to multiple full-time. We've had a total of 2 off, basically, since we had the member go down with that medical condition back in January, February, and ever since then. And then somebody else took his spot once firefighter Hallquist kind of stepped down. So we basically had a full-timer off on sick time ever since the early part of the year. So that's why that number's so high. Premiums above budget due to double payment in January. So that's why some of those red highlighted numbers in the budget are a little bit high that Joanne covered earlier. HSA, because of the full-time hire that we did with firefighter Brush, basically mid-year. And then the BSSR payments that you guys are aware of. Staffing overview, we had 2 resignations. I regret to say that firefighter Doug Kalin and firefighter Ben Erdani had some life changes and some job changes, so they decided not to continue on. Just a little too much for them. So we're going to be looking at hopefully, it's been a bit of a challenge, but hopefully, see some new staff come on board at some point. Full-time staff continues to be short with 1 full-time employee off with extended medical leave that you're aware of. We've also been, we had an officer meeting. We've been investigating the option, and I'm sure you'll be made aware of it shortly with Chief, of modifying the staffing to improve stability. And again, that'll be a budget item that will be presented to you guys. Just seems like every year, and those of us that have been here quite some time, it's just a roller coaster with, we hit those, right now during the summer months and closing out the summer, we have we're usually at minimum or barely above minimum. Winter months are a little bit better, but we're looking at hopefully, looking down the road so it's not a surprise in a couple of years when some of the guys start to retire and start to stabilize the staffing model that we have. So that'll be coming down the pike. What else here? Call volume has basically returned to pre-COVID conditions. We're seeing few COVID patients, but have had an increase in mental and drug overdoses. So keep that in mind as far as the community goes. And I'm sure we're not alone as well. We hear it in our neighbors' calls too. Fire inspections have resumed pre-COVID status. I don't know if Captain Sopko's on today. I don't see him, but I talked to Inspector Solomosi today, and basically he said he was close to wrapping up the first round. The first set of businesses should be complete fairly soon. I think there's a couple of stragglers out there, but he'll be starting the second round, or actually he has started the second round already as far as their second inspection since this all started. Vehicles. Engine 2124, our old bird there, has been transferred officially to Trumbull Township Fire. They delivered the check and the title and everything transferred, so that's a done deal. She was a good truck for us, so hopefully she finds a good home to finish out her days. Purchase and title are complete for the jet ski. We've been working on that with several members, trying to get that program going. With call volume, with staffing, and with lake conditions, it's been a bit of a challenge. We haven't got it on the water yet, but when you go from land to sea there, it takes a little bit of time to accumulate jackets and safety stuff. So we're in the process of doing all that, and hopefully we had a plan today to go out and give her a run and do some test her out as far as doing rescues and just seeing what the machine can do before we actually put a policy together to make it operate safely, if you will. So that's in the works. Working on classes for the drone as well, for the pilot licenses and all that, so we can be in compliance with that. The last thing on the chief's report here, as far as the pass-alongs and recommendations, the officers, we talked about this a couple weeks ago in our meeting. We talked about maybe making an additional bond payment if the budget trend continues. The interest on our money is significantly less with the bond interest, and Joanne, you can help me out here. I believe it's roughly that that 1% or so, and rather than let us sit there and gain that, maybe it's better to pay down some debt that's charging us 2 or 3% or whatever that percentage is right now. I don't have it in front of me. The other thing is the officers also discussed, like I prefaced earlier, the ongoing staffing challenges. Every summer we basically go to minimum. People have their benefit time, part-time staff. They work full-time elsewhere, and you guys are no stranger to some of those philosophies. They want their time off too. So we're looking at maybe increasing the full-time staff if the budget allows, to maybe to have a staff of 8 during the day might not be feasible, but having a staff of 6 or 7 with some more full-time was also discussed, and of course that'll be something that Chief Baker will and the officers put together for going down the road here in the next couple months. So that's all I got in the chief's report right now. Do you guys have any questions for me that I can pass along to Chief Baker?
I do have one, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Yep, Mr. Vest.
Yes. Do you know anything about the collection on the fire inspection, if we're any farther ahead than we were previously? Or should I direct that at Ms. Dame, or I don't know?
Nyla, I don't know if Nyla would have that information or not. I do not have that information, Mr. Vest, in front of me. And Captain Sopko isn't on right now, so I can get that to you probably within the next couple days if you wish.
Okay.
I do know, Mr. Chairman.
Yep, go ahead, Diane.
I do know that Inspector Salamosi, for the past 2 months, and I spoke with him today about November and December, has been getting a report from me on what invoices have not been paid. I am making copies of those invoices, and he is taking them with him to try to get those payments taken care of prior to the second round of inspections for these companies. I have been receiving payments in.
Good.
So I think this is something that he has been working on, and there has been some success.
All right. And Mr. Chairman, I have one question also for Joanne. And the question is, or a statement either way. So you're anticipating with the budget, like you're saying, even though we're 8 months into it, and I know what you gave us is not into the 9th month much at all, at say 50%. So at a conservative carryover, we're looking at between 12 and 15%, correct?
I'm saying about at least 10%, yes. At least 10.
At least 10.
At least
And then,
10.
as Captain Meister said, with the 1% bond payment on top of that, correct?
You mean the 1% interest that we're receiving?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the 1% interest. Yeah, actually,
Okay.
I ran it also by the chief a couple months back that maybe going down the road, knowing that we got such low interest, if we have enough, that maybe we do make an extra bond payment, if that would help.
Well, I guess I don't like to get too skinny at the end of the year for the carryover, because that takes us through the first quarter.
Yes.
So yeah, I guess we can watch and see what happens here.
That's what the chief and I talked about. We thought we'd look at November, where we would know, 100% it.
that sounds fair. Thank you, Joanne.
Any other questions for Cap Meister?
Mr. Chairman, if I may. Justin, you had sent us an email out late this afternoon regarding CMH Solutions regarding sound system and what have you. Is that something we needed to talk about tonight, or you were going to talk about?
Well, we were trying to put it together throughout the day to have you guys talk about that. And I believe it was brought up before, so as an option to have that backbone so you guys can, and these meetings can be live streamed with, seamlessly. I don't know if Sean's on right now, but I know he put that together pretty quick for us. The only thing that I believe that he sent us the email here, I guess the models and the original quote, they had to change some things around with the equipment. So that kind of drove the price up somewhat. But again, I believe this is the grant money that we were getting in that was going to be used to make these purchases. So, but again, I wasn't in the meeting that this was initially discussed, so I'll defer that to any of you.
And I'm here for questions and answers. I also have the document up front. Just to answer really fast as well, the reason that the price increased is that the camera that was chosen ended up going off market, and we had to select a comparable model. As it stood, the model that we chose ended up, instead of being a Chinese manufactured and engineered device, we ended up instead choosing a U.S. Engineered and South Korean based device instead. Ended up, in our opinion, being a little bit more of a secured purchase as well, as far as network security is concerned. Yeah, I'm here for any Q&A, of course, if anybody wants to ask questions. The other quick statement I wanted to throw out there too. This is the hybrid solution that not only allows for good quality sound when working in the meeting rooms and capturing that sound, it also allows us to have the Google Meet meetings continue to be integrated with it, so that all of those who are still, say, at home, for example, trying to interact with the people in the meeting room, this allows for a good high fidelity, high quality sound, experience, so that you guys can hear each other really well. And it also installs the PA system within the main Fire Station 3 meeting room. So, any questions, go right ahead, please.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, if I could. So, yeah, this allows, so we could have board members at home or board members in the meeting room. This allows for a blended meeting. It also, once we get back to regular meeting schedule where we're all together in one room, this would then allow us to broadcast our meetings. I think this was something Mr. Vest was talking about a while back. Broadcast our meetings live over the internet. Accomplishes that as well?
Very much so. Quite similar to what we're doing now with the Google Meet meetings online being broadcasted to YouTube for public access in conjunction with your website, of course. We would be able to continue, instead of, say, the Meet meeting, once everything is back to 100% normal, you would instead have the high-quality camera that is capturing the picture of the entire room, and that is then what would get rebroadcast onto YouTube. Along with, of course, the sound system that you would have as well, so that you would be, heard very well.
And we're talking for the whole thing, $6,226.31.
That is correct. Within a slight margin of error, just in case any other price fluctuations may happen, but generally speaking, yes. If you were to say a $6,500 amount, that more than covers anything like that.
Okay.
If I may, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Mr. Vest.
That would include installation and such as that, or no?
Yes, sir, and some limited training as well.
Just making sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the other question I have is directed to Joanne, and I'll let you get, there you go. And Joanne, as far as our CARES Act monies, are we not supposed to receive some more funding? And will the fire district receive that funding, or only local municipalities?
I have not heard if the district's going to receive any. I've heard that the township and village can be receiving more money.
Right.
That you could pass it on, and that we'd have to sign a special contract. There's a sub-grant contract that you'd have to forward over to us, that we'd have to verify and then provide you even all the documents so you have it for your backup, for your CARES.
Right.
Right.
But I was wondering, you don't know as of now.
Yeah, they have not told us.
Do you have a means to be able to find out if that is available to us?
Yesterday when I attended the grants meeting, they did not have it for the district yet. They were still talking just municipalities and townships and counties when I listened to the webinar yesterday.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any other questions for Captain Meister? No. Did you guys get the drone in already? I know you guys are going with the setting up the training with that, Captain Meister.
Yeah, no, there's no drone here yet. I know Chief Baker was looking. I don't believe it's been purchased yet. So it's still in its infant stages, if you will.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Did we get anything in from the public? This is the closing public portion. Nothing? Okay. Let's move on to the closing board comments. Anything from the board members?
Nope.
Everybody good? Okay.
Good.
Okay.
I got a
Oh,
question.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask?
I think Mr. Wayman has something.
I have a question, Mr. Chairman. What are we going to do next month? Do we yet, or do we want to talk about it or not?
I'm open for anything. I don't know what the rest of the members want. I know this level has gone up and down over this past 6 weeks again. So I know in Lake County it went up.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I sat on the health board and it has gone up because of the Labor Day weekend, and I don't want to take a chance. That's my opinion.
And my opinion is, whatever the rest of you guys feel, I'll go either way. But I do realize that the reason it went up was because of a big influx from healthcare facilities in the western end of the county.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. I think for the time being then, we'll probably plan on a virtual. We'll
Right.
continue this. And then we'll, if it changes, it drops considerably, the levels, then we can go back to in person. But I think for the time being, then we'll just keep it at this. So,
Mr. Chairman, all the more reason to consider this this purchase of because we can do a blended meeting for those that don't want to attend or those that do want to attend. So I would hope that we follow up with this $6,200 purchase by next month, because that would allow for a blended meeting.
Well, I believe we're going to go forward to that. If I'm not wrong, Stacy, we're going to have some sort of a motion. Would you recommend that?
I wouldn't recommend it in this particular meeting, simply because, one, we don't know where our CARES Act money is at. Two, we don't have a resolution. And
Right.
three, it wasn't on our agenda for tonight's meeting. So I
Okay.
would say that if we're going to address it, the more appropriate time would be at next month's meeting, when we can show notice that we're taking action on it.
Well, then we will not be able to make purchase then, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
No, I think my point, Mark, was I wasn't necessarily saying to make it tonight, but it's all the more reason to keep it in the forefront if we want to get to a blended meeting. Because I know you were talking about doing our meetings live in the future, and
Absolutely.
it actually doesn't seem like that bad a price. And if we can get CARES Act money, all the better.
Agreed.
I agree. So it looks like something to be on the next month's agenda. Okay. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, the next meeting's planned for October 21st, 2020 at 7 p.m. And we're going to be doing it live streaming unless something else comes up. So I think that's it from everybody. I think we need a motion to adjourn.
So
I'll
moved,
make-
Mr. Chairman.
I heard Mr. Wayman and Mr. Gautner.
I'll second Pete's motion.
Okay. Roll call.
I guess I didn't want to hear mine.
Oh,
Mr. Vest.
Mr. Anderson.
That's fine.
Mr. Vest,
Yes.
Mr. Wayman,
Yes.
Mr. Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Gontner.
Yes.
Good night, people.
Okay.
Good night.
At 7:31 p.m. Adjourned.
Good night,
Thank you.
Good
everyone.
night.
Good, Jim.
Good night.
Good evening, everyone.